What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy, Dennis Nderitu, live at Nderitu Basketball HQ. Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's good to be here. It's good to be here on this live stream. You know it's all about. We're gonna react to the Suns versus the Clippers basketball basketball series. I don't know why I'm mixing the words up, but anyway, we're gonna react to the game four Suns versus Clippers, and also give our prediction on the Bucks versus the Hawks. So yeah, man. So let me just get into it real quick. So as per article by SB Nation, Clippers can't find any offense in agonizing 84 to 80 loss. This was not the prettiest game by Sabrina Marchant. Let's just get through an article through the article. The Clippers put together the best defensive performance of the postseason, but it wasn't enough as their offense completely failed to deliver in an 84 to 80 loss. The Suns played the foul game, never giving the Clippers a chance to tie the game in the final minute until a purposefully missed Paul George free throw with 3.2 seconds left. LA couldn't secure the rebound and now heads back to Phoenix down 3-1. I mean, that was not the outcome I actually predicted. I was actually saying the Clippers are going to tie up the series anyway. And the article continues. The Clippers returned to their game two starting lineup despite what happened in a convincing case from Terrence Mann to join the first five. Their ability to contain the perimeter wasn't as good as it was in game three, partly because Marcus Morris Sr. isn't as good of a perimeter defender as Mann, and partly because Chris Paul looked much improved from his return to the lineup on Thursday. So, yeah, man, that was that. But the defense wasn't the problem, at least not in the half court, with Paul and Cameron Payne both healthier than they were in game three. The Suns had their full complement of ball handlers, and they took advantage of that by pushing the pace and all opportunities. They built an early 12-2 lead by simply beating the Clippers down the floor and taking whatever was available in early offense. So, meanwhile, the Clippers began the game with their worst offensive half in the postseason. They shot 7 of 25, that's 28% shooting in the first quarter, scoring 20 points, and they somehow got worse by shooting 6 of 19 of 16 points in the second quarter. So you can see that was a poor shooting night for the Clippers, man. The Clippers sacrificed some of their spacing by playing big, a gamble that worked in game three but didn't quite pan out early. LA couldn't get any jump shots to fall despite creating a series of good looks. As the Clippers struggled from outside, they also couldn't get to the rim because the Suns didn't have to leave the basket with Ivica Zubac there. So Ivica Zubac really helped them. So miraculously, despite trying for the worst, trying for the low, no, not the worst, miraculously, despite trying for their lowest scoring playoff first half in the franchise history, I mean, that was bad. The Clippers were only down 14 at the break. They couldn't really make a dent into the lead until Mann entered the game about halfway through the period. He immediately scored an and one on an inbounds play, and the Clippers were off to the races. I mean, Paul George found a little rhythm in the small lineup. Reggie Jackson started hitting jumpers, and the Clippers cut 11 points off the lead in the quarter. So the Clippers had a chance to tie the game 2 minutes into the period. Then George attacked Devin Booker in transition, earning two free throws and drawing a technical, but George missed one of the foul shots, leaving the home team down one. So, yeah, man, them clutch free throws weren't going in. What followed was an outstanding scoring drought, and neither team scored for 3 minutes and 44 seconds. It felt like someone had put plastic wraps on their basket with the types of the shots that were rimming out. It's hard to describe what a hideous offensive performance this was for the Clippers in the fourth quarter alone. Them guys missed 9 shots, went down, and and that I mean they missed 9 shots when down one and could have given them the lead. So yeah, man, that was that. They didn't get a chance in the final minutes, and now they're staring down an elimination game on Monday. So Clippers are down 3-1. I actually predicted that these guys were supposed to be, tie out the series 2-2. And let me just check out the matchup, sorry, from the NBA app. So the Suns won this game in wire to wire fashion, riding a 50 to 36 first half to their victory. With that said, it stayed within 5 points or then for entirely the fourth quarter. The Suns held the Clippers to 33% from the field, 16% from 3-point range, and 66% from the free throw line, while out rebounding them 59 to 51. Paul George led the Clippers with 23 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists. Reggie Jackson totaled 20 points and 5 rebounds. Ivica Zubac generated 13 points and 14 rebounds. Devin Booker led the Suns with 25 points. I mean, 2 rebounds and 2 steals before fouling out. DeAndre Ayton amassed 19 points, 22 rebounds, and 2 blocks. So DeAndre Ayton really balled out in this game. Chris Paul accumulated 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. You can see DeAndre Ayton he really balled out. Really, really balled out in this game, especially in the rebounds department. He came in clutch there. But this was a low scoring game. I mean, both teams are on a scoring slump. I mean, it was just so hard to watch. I've never seen a game last so long like that. I watched it. I was like, oh, man. I mean, the game was slow. Then there were 2 missed foul calls. I mean, the refs, though. I mean, the refs, man. The NBA has to fix that. The way, I mean, the refs better fix that referee situation because there are 2 missed calls. I mean, there was a ball that went out. I mean, no, the ref didn't review that. I mean, it was. Okay. I'm not complaining on the side of I'm not complaining or anything. But hey, I mean, this is something that needs to be checked out because if the refs don't call this, especially in a playoff game that's pretty close like that, it's high stakes. I feel like it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem moving forward because players are gonna lose confidence in the referees and the EXO and the league. So I felt like there were missed calls in this Clippers versus Sun series, but hey, I mean, there's nothing you can do now. I mean, as per the books, the Suns are up 3-1, and the Clippers better win 3 games because I actually picked the Clippers to win in 7. But recent change of, considering this recent change of things, the way they're going, I'm not sure if them Clippers are gonna be able to, beat the Suns because it's gonna be a tall ask. They're missing Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard really, really was an intricate part of this group. If you don't have Kawhi Leonard, it's game over. If these guys are not here, I mean, if Kawhi Leonard is not here and Paul George doesn't play in an elite level, I mean, it's gonna really, really cost the Clippers big time. Because if the whole success for the Clippers depends on their stars being there, and as well as the troops following the stars. So if the troops don't follow the stars, or the star player has a bad night and one of the troops you expect them to be the star, I mean, it's gonna be difficult for them Clippers to win. So that's the main issue. I mean, the problem with Paul George. I mean, sometimes, okay, I can have confidence in Paul George. I still believe in Paul George as much as um I mean, he got a lot of flack, got a lot of slander through the past years. Playoff P, pandemic P. I also chimed in a bit, but hey, I mean, we need to, cut him some slack. But sometimes if I see a player like Paul George not be able to, make it past like a full game and play well, play efficient basketball, he is very disappointing. He's in that situation where if he doesn't step up to win this game, it's a problem. If this guy doesn't, like, sit guide the troops to victory, it's gonna be an issue. Because if this guy just becomes like inefficient, and you start depending on a guy like Reggie Jackson to orchestrate the offense, and he's not a star, and PG is the star, that's a problem. PG is supposed to take. He was given the keys to the franchise, him and Kawhi Leonard. So right now it's PG, playoff P. Playoff P has to come up, carry this team to the finals. I mean, it's gonna be a tall ask because you're supposed to win like three straight games, considering the fact that you're down 3-1. Let's see if you have what it takes. Let's see if Tyronn Lue can pull off the same magic, although it can depend on Ty Lue to pull off the same magic because teams that go down went down 3-1, especially when Ty Lue was at the helm with LeBron and Kyrie. I'm not sure if the Clippers can do it, but hey, I feel like the Clippers should not miss to win Game Five. They must win Game Five. Game Five is a must win for them. If the Clippers don't win Game Five, it's gonna be a problem because they're gonna be eliminated, and the Suns are gonna make it back to the finals or make it back to the finals. Since the Charles Barkley era, that's the last time I saw the Phoenix Suns in the finals. And yeah, and CP3 is gonna taste the finals. I mean, CP3 was this close in tasting the finals in 2018 before they were beaten in Game Seven by the Golden State Warriors. I mean, CP3, it's gonna be his first finals appearance. I actually saw in a post-game press conference, CP3 didn't want to hear anything about 3-1 because he knows the demons that come in when he hears someone mention 3-1 because 3-1 is sometimes somewhat of a blessing and somewhat of a curse sometimes. So going up 3-1, yeah, it's pretty fun and dandy, but hey, you need to close out. So the question is, can CP3 close out the Clippers, who are led by Paul George, or can PG, playoff P, push this series to 7 games? I know it's gonna be a tall ask for PG, but hey, I mean, some players have done it, like Jokic, Jamal Murray came back down from 3-1 deficits twice in the postseason before being beat in 5 in Lakers in the 2020 playoffs. I feel like PG was up 3-1 on the Nuggets, and he wasn't able to finish the job. So let's see if PG can be able to, finish the job, come back from a 3-1 deficit, and take this team to the finals. Because if the Clippers don't make the finals, bro, I mean, the slander is gonna be out of this roof. These guys need to uninstall Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere because they're gonna be eviscerated like crazy. These guys are gonna be eviscerated if these guys don't like get their stuff in order. Like, I mean, know how to counter the them Suns. The Suns are gonna go to the finals. And considering the fact that, I mean, the games are very close. There's game two. It's only decided by 1 point, and game four, 4 points. So I don't feel like the Suns are gonna have a scoring slump again because I'm pretty sure these are the team that, okay, when you have CP3 at the helm, he makes sure that he checks film, everything is good. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know about the, at this point. I actually picked Clippers in 7, but I don't know. So I don't want to backpedal. I don't want to double down on anything. But let me just stick to that. Let me just wait for this series to play out. Then I'll prove. Then I'll prove. Then they'll prove me wrong, or the Suns prove me wrong. So I'm not gonna back down from that because I feel like them Clippers. Let me say I don't believe in them as much because I'm a Lakers fan. But hey, I feel like okay. Considering the fact that this is the team that's only left and the Suns eliminated my Lakers, I can pick the Clippers. Anyway, I'm just having fun right now. Let me just see if them Clippers are gonna respond in Game Five and maybe possibly push it to a Game Six, and maybe they can push it to a Game Seven. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So I'm still standing with the Clippers, although I don't like that team. But hey, I don't want to see them just get knocked out like that. I mean, it's gonna be bad. I mean, still Steve Ballmer couldn't even hold himself. I mean, he couldn't contain himself. He was looking like he was gonna cry at some point because his head was down. Devin Booker was just there smiling when the game ended. and yeah, PG held his head looking up. I mean, it was a very hard sight to see, especially for Clippers fan. And I don't want to see any Clippers fan make excuses like when they get eliminated, be like, "Yo, Kawhi Leonard wasn't there. No, wasn't there." Well, bro, as a Lakers fan, I never gave or took any excuses, bro. I just said, okay, the Suns were the better team in the playoffs and they beat us in the first round. So that's okay. We'll get them next time because we're also affected by the injury bug. Like AD didn't play, so LeBron had to solo squad, but it wasn't enough because the Suns were up and healthy and they came in and balled out. The same thing is going to happen to the Clippers, right? The Clippers don't have Kawhi Leonard. It's the same thing that the way the Lakers didn't have AD, and people are and fans, especially Clippers Nation, are like pushing. Like, can PG carry this team the same way LeBron can? I'm not sure, but PG is the only one who knows, and he's the one who's supposed to figure it out. So yeah, I mean, the Clippers are in the same situation as the Lakers, and let's see if playoff P can handle his business in Game Five, Game Six, and Game Seven. Let's just hope his legs can carry him because he needs to do a lot of carrying for this Clippers team to win. And yeah, man, that's the thing. You can't come this far. You can't trade everyone. You can't trash talk. You slander like you see the same way they did in 2019, 2020. They really didn't. They slandered the Lakers. They got beat by Denver Nuggets. This season, they say they're gonna come back. Idiots like Max Kellerman and Skip Bayless needs to be shut up. Let the Clippers. Sometimes I feel like, okay, let the Clippers earn this win. If it goes to Game Seven, or if they go get knocked out in Game Five, it's okay. I mean, well, I'm not a Clippers fan, but sometimes I feel like I just want to root for them because they're the same city as LA. So yeah, so I mean, I don't want to hear any excuses in the league when the Clippers are knocked out by the Suns in Game Five. I don't want to hear any excuses, and I'm not gonna make any excuses. I'm actually gonna make a video laughing at the Clippers because playoff P he's gonna go down in witness protection. He's not gonna be able to walk in any LA street because my God, fans are gonna be eating him up. So anyway, enough said about the Clippers and the Suns. Let me just talk about the Bucks and the Hawks. So the Bucks issued the worst beating that the Hawks could have received in this postseason. I mean, these guys, man, they were beat like 34 points. I mean, it was just like no contest at some point. I feel like Giannis has held the steering wheel of this series, and I feel like this is gonna be similar to the series that the Milwaukee Bucks was in 2019 with the Celtics. The Celtics stunned the Bucks in game 1. Then game 2, 3, 4 and 5 they lost. So this is the same scenario. The only difference is in the Eastern Conference Finals, they were facing a Kawhi Leonard-led Raptors team, and I don't feel like there's any hindrance to Giannis and the Bucks getting to the finals because the Hawks are not a threat at all. I mean, yesterday I was in the the Afro Basket podcast, excuse me, the not Afro Basket, the Afro Ballers podcast, and I was telling these guys like the Bucks going to the finals. As much as you can try to say, "Oh, the Hawks are gonna win," the Hawks are not gonna win against the Bucks. The Bucks are gonna win game 3, 4. They're only 3 games away from winning. Game 3, 4, and 5. They're gonna win these games. So no question on that. I try to tell these guys you can't compare Trey Young to a Damian Lillard, and here's why. In that Milwaukee Bucks roster, we've got Chris Middleton and we've got Drew Holiday. If you check closely in the postseason, especially in the 2018 postseason, the New Orleans Pelicans matched up in the first round the Portland Trailblazers. The clamps that Drew Holiday at the time he put on Damian Lillard, he shut down Damian Lillard to the point where This guy, man, I mean, he couldn't get anything off. He mean the clamps that Drew Holiday put on Damian Lillard. I mean, they were just unforeseen. I never saw anything like it. Then you find a guy like Trey Young. Trey Young, he's in the Hawks, and Drew Holiday right now he's in the Bucks. So I feel like Drew Holiday is that defensive guard. That's why this guy gets selected for an all defensive team. Drew Holiday gets an all defensive selection. Why is that? Because this guy is pretty elite when it comes to defending the best player on that team. So why? So the reason why I'm bringing this thing up is some guy is trying to convince me otherwise that, oh, Trey Young, he's great. This is, mind you, this is Trey Young's first postseason, and you're comparing him to like a guy like Damian Lillard who's been there, done that. He's gone to the Western Conference Finals. He's second round. He's been knocked. Okay, he's been knocked out in the first round, but the problem is he's being matched up with like top seeded teams, so it's very hard for him to move forward. But here we have Drew Holiday on the Bucks with the opportunity to punch their ticket to the finals. How is it that you're gonna say that Drew Holiday is not gonna be able to guard Trey Young, and especially and considering the fact that this Chris Middleton there in the 2019. Chris Middleton was already there in the 2019 final playoff run with the Bucks when the Bucks met the Celtics. Chris Middleton was the primary defender for Kyrie Irving, so I feel like he can also be able to put clamps on a Trey Young the way a Drew Holiday can put clamps on a Damian Lillard. So I feel like they'll be interchangeable because if you shut down Trey Young, the whole offense is stifled. You can't expect anyone. You think Kevin Hart is gonna make it past the Bucks? No, bro. Bucks in five, and that's just about it. I mean, there's nothing more to say about that. I mean, some guy, I give him the facts, and he looks like he didn't even get it. I'm like, why is it that you don't understand what I'm trying to say? I mean, at some point, sometimes you can try to talk. You can try to say like, this is the fact, right? The Bucks are gonna win in 5 games. Considering the outing that the game two went down, I mean, the Bucks just completely took down and straight out dominated them Hawks. Hawks look like pieces of chicken instead of hogs. So yeah, I mean, I pick the Bucks to finish them off in 5, and yeah, man, that's what I have to say, man. This stream, I'm just gonna keep it short. I'm not gonna spread it to an hour. I'm just gonna keep it short. I just wanted to be brief, and yeah, man. If you guys like the stream, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comment section down below. And yeah, man, I'll be dropping more streams like this, especially in this postseason, especially in this time where it's the road to the finals. And yeah, man. And I'm out. Peace, guys.